Hello and welcome back to my series of discussions on my personal view of truth and reality as I see it from my mind and from my heart or from my personal perspective. This is all that each and every one of us can do in our lives. We march the entire pathway from birth to death, making our own choices and under the guidance of good or evil, depending on what influences us the most. We've seen all those cartoons and comments where on one side is an angel, one side is a devil, one speaking into your ear and telling you to do right or to do wrong. And we've heard the wise old sayings that inside of us are two wolves, one good, one evil, and the one we feed is the one that guides us or the one that we become. I honestly and sincerely believe that Donald Trump is the only person that can lead us out of this darkness that we have descended into, not only under Obama's administration. It sped that process up, but over the last 50 years, as our entire society became more liberal, more progressive, more libertine, where we put more emphasis on the rights of one versus the rights of the whole. And I honestly believe, I went to University of Virginia, I studied Thomas Jefferson, and I do believe that he looked at the welfare of the people first versus the individuality where that one person might be able to do harm or infringe on the life of others. Currently we are faced with this choice as who will lead us forward. I believe Donald Trump has demonstrated in his past and in his personality and through his family and friends who admire and adore him that sure, he's a person that might speak wrong at times and say the things that affect the feelings of others. But we can't rely on emotions right now at this time in history. We need to rely on truth and reality and the facts. And he has proven to be a sound businessman who's made proper choices and has become the person that people know as the Donald or the "you're fired" from The Apprentice. But he's more than that right now. Providence or history has put him in the focus of all America with the opportunity to choose him as the strong leader we need, the champion of truth and justice in the American way, which is no longer something that we can say. For the first time in my life, unlike Michelle Obama and her friends and the president, who just recently became proud of America after he was elected, I could say for the first time I am not proud of America. I am not proud of where we've descended and what we've become. And I honestly believe that most Americans out there feel the way I do. That's that silent majority that's becoming noisy and determined to correct the pathway we have been going down over these last few decades. I think that they see it like me. Their lives have been affected by the rules and regulations and the pain and suffering caused by them. I can say this for certain and with sincerity because I have had some really great pitfalls over the last few years. Last January, not this past one, but a year ago, I hurt my back and couldn't walk for 2 whole months. And right after that, I got a notice from a bank that I had been dealing with for 15 years who suddenly merged with a larger bank, and that bank sent me a foreclosure notice. And at my foreclosure hearing, the lawyers told me that they needed to correct the mistakes on their balance sheet before they presented their portfolio to the stockholders. And the individual is no longer of importance in that respect. And then right after that, They foreclosed on my home and my business of 17 years, and I received the information or the notice from my doctors that my prostate cancer had reoccurred after 6 years of remission. And so all this stuff hit me at once, and it was the best time for me to just blow my stack and do something wrong or do something evil or do something bad. But as I said, I had gained this inner peace or this inner wisdom that with patience, with faith, with hope, with loving yourself, especially loving the Creator and a love for your fellow man, things will work out in the long run. And I have had some guardian angels look over me, and I've had some good Samaritans come to my aid. And I am going to make it out of there. I've had my prostate surgery last month, and my last report, everything looked all right, so I can put that behind me. And I can put anything behind me as long as I have faith and hope in the Creator. Now, you say, well, what does this have to do with Donald Trump? Timing is the key of everything in life. In order to hit a home run, you have to have great timing. To score a touchdown, sometimes you have to just time it just right and throw the right pass. Well, right now we're at a crossroads in not only Western civilization because of what's happening with the Muslim terrorists. And by the way, they've been trying since their inception to overrun the so-called Christian infidel. And anything you believe other than that is a fairy tale. They will cut your throat in a second, as they have time and time again throughout the Middle East, as they chop off the heads of Christians and anyone that disagrees with their philosophy. And for us to even in the faintest glimmer of thought that they could change, I don't even know what to call that person anymore, because they're fellow Americans who just don't see the truth and the reality of history. Is that history has shown us throughout history, everywhere they've gone, they've overrun countries. They've run Christianity out of those countries. They've run Hinduism out of countries. They've run Buddhists out of their countries. And they are slowly and quietly and patiently overtaking everything, just like a plague, just like a disease. It spreads slowly, but it will eventually kill you. Now, Donald Trump has said that he'd like to make us safe again. What's wrong with that? He said he'd like to slow down the influx of the refugees. What's wrong with that? He said he'd like to build a wall and protect our southern borders where drugs are coming across to kill the kids, and terrorists can come across at ease. And everybody says, well, he's anti-immigrant. Listen, he isn't. He probably understands better than you that cheap migrant labor helps some businesses, and it's helped many people in the restaurant and service industry. However, it's gotten to the point where it is just crushing our welfare system, because most of the immigrants and most of the migrants are illegal immigrants. They don't even call that anymore, but I forget what title they're trying to tag them with now. They're draining the coffers through their dependency on our hospitals and our food stamps and our welfare. Now, what's wrong with trying to just slow that down? The title of my books was Slow Down in Love. It meant to slow your life down, but we can also slow down the march of our government as it expands and becomes so huge and largesse that it doesn't even make common sense anymore. Trump calls himself a common sense conservative. I believe he's just a common sense businessman. Anyone that's in business makes decisions to stay afloat and to keep alive their dream. I believe he wants to do that to America right now and keep that dream alive that is sort of vanished or at least diminished to the point that it's unrecognizable by those of us that have lived and had the pride in the flag and enjoyed saying the Pledge of Allegiance and teared up every time they heard the national anthem. Now we see the total disrespect is punk thugs spit and burn and step on the flag with such disdain that those who still love America feel hurt and feel the pain. Now, I have given over 70 talks, and I haven't built up a huge following, and my family and friends sometimes say, why do you keep doing it? Well, I have this courage to do it because I think it's the right thing, and I think eventually I might break through to the right people that can help spread this truth and reality that we'll be all right as long as we respect the Creator, respect ourselves, and respect our friends. And I know that everybody says, well, Ted Cruz is the answer. I do not believe it. I think that he has calculated his way to where he is right now. His closest friends and colleagues didn't like him. His friends in school didn't like him. And he is I don't want to say it, a calculated candidate. And he is saying and he is morphing his speeches to say the right thing at the right time, but it might not be the right thing at the right time if you really look at it. So I'm going to continue making these talks at least twice a week in defending my reason and my thoughts about why I think Donald Trump is the only person to lead us out of this wilderness, so to speak, at this time. So until we meet again, Godspeed.